What's up, guys? Today is day 108 of Deadlift Everyday, and today I wanted to talk about accommodating resistance. In other words, adding bands or chains to your barbell. Now, bands and chains are most often associated with the conjugate training method, where bands and chains are heavily used both on the dynamic effort days and the max effort days. But even if you are not training according to the conjugate method, accommodating resistance can be a great tool. Now, I've used accommodating resistance for the squat, the bench press, and the deadlifts. But I have my preferences when it comes to using either bands or chains for each of those lifts. So for the squat and the bench press, I prefer to use the chains. That is because for the squat and bench press, you actually have to lift the bar off the rack, which means that the bands are pulling on the bar diagonally. So it is a bit of a hassle to set up so that the bands are actually pulling directly downwards in your starting position. For me, they just always seem to be pulling a bit too far forward or a bit too far back. If you are squatting out of a monolift, or have a bench on which you can actually set up the bands properly, then that will be less of an issue. But my preference will always go out to the chains, because when you take the weight out of the rack, the chains will move with you and will always be pulling straight down. For the deadlift, that is a different story. I actually prefer to use bands on the deadlift. My reasoning for that is firstly because you don't have to take the bar out of the rack. You can actually set up to the bar. And secondly, because the bar ends pretty close to the floor at lockout, so it is very hard to actually set up so that all the chains are barely touching the floor at lockout. In other words, the difference between the weight on the floor and at lockout is very minimal with the chains, making it less effective in my opinion. And with the bands, it literally feels like someone is trying to rip the bar out of your hands. So for deadlifts, bands it is. Now you could also use accommodating resistance for your weighted dips and chin-ups, but I've never done that, so I don't yet have an opinion about it. But I'll sure try that in the future, so that is for another video. Alright guys, we're already at the end of this video. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.